Have you ever pondered the profound responsibility that comes with creation? The power to create, to breathe life into the lifeless is as intoxicating as it is terrifying. It's a dance on the razor's edge between godhood and monstrosity. It's an exploration into the depths of the human soul, where passion and madness intertwine. This is the chilling undercurrent that runs through the story of Frankenstein, an exploration of the tumultuous relationship between creator and creation. This is the haunting question that lies at the heart of the tale of Frankenstein and his monster. Our tale begins with an ambitious scientist, Victor Frankenstein. A man of immense curiosity and audacious dreams, Victor was not one to shy away from the mysteries that life presented. His passion for understanding the very fabric of existence led him down a path that many would dare not tread. In his relentless pursuit of knowledge, he found himself obsessing over the duality of life and death. Victor Frankenstein, a child of enlightenment, saw not just the finality in death, but the potential it held. He believed that the boundary between life and death was not a solid wall, but a veil, thin and penetrable. His fascination with this concept grew into an obsession that would consume him, steer him towards the unthinkable. His days and nights merged into one as he delved deeper and deeper into his studies, pushing the boundaries of science and morality. He toiled in solitude, his thoughts occupied by the singular goal of conquering death itself. This obsession became the compass guiding his every action, leading him towards the creation of a being that would defy the natural order. This creation was not just a scientific experiment for Victor, it was a testament to his audacious aspirations. It was a being born not out of natural conception, but from the fiery crucible of scientific innovation and obsession. Victor Frankenstein, in his pursuit of defying the natural order, had created a being that was neither dead nor truly alive. A being that was a chilling testament to the power and potential of science when left unchecked. But this creation was not just a monster in form, it was a mirror reflecting the monstrous ambition that had driven Victor to defy the natural order of things, a chilling reminder of the lengths to which man's thirst for knowledge could lead him. And so, in his quest for knowledge, Frankenstein birthed a being unlike any other. Yet, upon beholding his creation, Frankenstein is consumed by horror and regret. As the initial thrill of his groundbreaking achievement subsides, the reality of what he has done dawns upon him. He has defied the laws of nature, and the consequences are terrifyingly real. Frankenstein, a man of science who dedicated years of his life to this moment, suddenly finds himself staring into the abyss of his own making. His creation, a monstrous entity, a grotesque parody of life, stands before him. The creature's very existence is a testament to Frankenstein's hubris, his ambition that pushed him to play God. The chilling realization of his transgression hits him hard. His hands, once steady and sure, tremble as he recoils from his creation. The monster, innocent in its grotesqueness, reaches out to him, but Frankenstein, consumed by a sense of dread and guilt, retreats. He sees not a creature yearning for acceptance, but a hideous aberration that he brought into this world. The horror consumes him. Sleep eludes him. His dreams are haunted by the monster's lifeless eyes, its grotesque form. He is tormented by the knowledge that he has created life, only to be repulsed by it. His passion for creation, once a burning flame, is now a smoldering ember, drowned in the sea of his remorse. Frankenstein becomes a spectre of his former self. He abandons his creation, leaving it to fend for itself, alone in an unkind world. His actions, born of fear and regret, set the stage for the tragic events to follow. He forsakes his responsibility, his duty to the life he has created. In this moment, we see the true horror of Frankenstein's tale. It is not the monster that strikes fear into our hearts, but the man who dared to create life only to abandon it out of fear and revulsion, the man who dared to play God only to falter at the sight of his creation. In his fear and revulsion, Frankenstein forsakes his creation, setting in motion a tale of despair and revenge. Abandoned and alone, the monster yearns for acceptance and companionship. Imagine waking up in a world where no one looks like you, where you are a walking nightmare to others. This was the reality our creature faced, a reality that was harsh and unwelcoming. Each day he would roam the woods, observing mankind from a distance, learning their ways, their language, their customs. He was desperate to be a part of it, to feel the warmth of human interaction, to not be alone. He watched families sharing meals, children playing, couples in love. He yearned for these simple pleasures, these ordinary facets of life that were denied to him. He attempted to integrate, to extend a hand of friendship, but his grotesque appearance, his monstrous form, only incited fear and revulsion. Each attempt to connect, to communicate, was met with screams, with stones, with rejection, and with each rejection a seed of resentment was planted within his heart, a growing bitterness towards his creator. Why create a being so monstrous, so grotesque that it could never be accepted? Why give him a mind capable of understanding love, kindness, companionship, only to deny him these basic human rights? His creator had abandoned him, left him to wander alone in a world that feared him, and this abandonment, this betrayal, was a wound that festered. He was not born with hatred in his heart. He was not born a monster. He was made one through rejection, through fear, through loneliness. His loneliness became his constant companion, a reminder of his otherness, his monstrousness. It was a cruel irony that the creature who longed for companionship more than anything else was destined to be alone, to be the monster, the outcast, the pariah, rejected and reviled. The creature's loneliness turns to a bitter hatred for his creator, the man who had given him life only to abandon him, the man who had made him a monster doomed to a life of loneliness. In his rage and despair, the monster vows revenge on his creator. The spark of this vengeance is ignited with a single act, a chilling murder. The monster, in his seething anger, snuffs out the life of Frankenstein's younger brother. This act is not simply an expression of rage, it is a calculated move, a chess piece moved in the grand game of revenge. What follows is a sinister dance, a back and forth of pain and punishment that seems to have no end in sight. The monster's actions are not without thought. He doesn't just want Frankenstein to suffer, he wants him to understand, to feel the same loneliness and despair that he himself has been forced to endure. And so the monster targets those closest to his creator. One by one, the people Frankenstein holds dear are taken from him. His friends, his loved ones, all become pawns in this twisted game. Each loss is a mirror to the monster's own loneliness, each death a reflection of his pain. Meanwhile, Frankenstein, tormented by guilt and haunted by his creation, is driven to the brink of madness. He too is caught in this cycle of revenge. He seeks to destroy the monster, to end the torment that has befallen him and those he loves. But in doing so, he only fuels the monster's rage, further perpetuating the cycle of violence and retribution. The monster and his creator, both victims and perpetrators of this cycle, are trapped in an endless loop of suffering. Their fates, intertwined from the moment of the monster's creation, are now sealed in this never-ending dance of revenge. As the cycle spins, we see the destructive power of revenge. It consumes both the monster and Frankenstein, leaving in its wake a trail of death and despair. The cycle continues, a grim reminder of the consequences of playing God and the price of vengeance. And so the cycle of revenge spirals, each act of violence fueling the next. As our tale concludes, we find ourselves returned to our initial question. The tragic end of both Frankenstein and his creation is a tale as old as time, steeped in terror and remorse. Born out of unchecked ambition and a thirst for knowledge, the monster was not inherently evil. It was the abandonment by its creator that led it down a path of destruction and despair. Frankenstein, driven by his obsession to breathe life into the lifeless, had not foreseen the dire consequences of his actions. He created a being only to shun it, to cast it into the world alone and unloved. This abandonment was the spark that ignited the monster's fury, a fury that would consume both creator and creation in its flames. The tale serves as a stark reminder of the grave responsibility that comes with creation. When we create, we become gods in our own right, with the power to give life and shape destinies. But with such power comes an equally great responsibility, to guide, to nurture, to love what we bring into existence. Frankenstein's monster was not a monster by birth, but by circumstance. It was the creator's failure to shoulder his responsibility that led to their mutual destruction. A chilling tale indeed of what can happen when ambition is left unchecked, when responsibility is shirked, and when creations are left to fend for themselves in a world that fears the unknown. In the end, both creator and creation are destroyed, a chilling reminder of the grave responsibility that comes with the power of creation.